All right. Hello and welcome. And we are live. And I'm
Hello,
thrilled to be
everyone.
here with Kevin.
Yes, I'm so glad that we're finally together and able to do this. We had to
Absolutely.
reschedule once, but
Yep. Yep.
here we are.
And you know what? It must have been November. November wasn't a very good month for a
Yeah,
lot of us. And I had to like reschedule with 3 or 4 people because something kept coming up, either no electricity or this or that. So
yeah. I
I'm
think that's
just
what
like,
you said. You had power issues.
yeah, we did. And I had read an astrological a thing before November started that said this was going to be a shit show, and it has been a shit show. So
Right.
anyway, I'm glad we're knocking at the back door here. Yeah. But anyway, I do want to say hello to everybody. Hi, Sharon and Stone Marble, Butterfly Kisses. And who else is here? That's it for now. All right. Well, I'm glad you're here.
Right.
Welcome. So, yes, I said to Kevin when I first came on, I feel like I already know Kevin. I remember when he first came into my chat box, basically, and I saw his name, Loving Vibrations. Oh, my God, that just really clicked for me. So I'm really happy to say that Kevin has escalated his abilities, and we're just glad to have him part of this community. So thank you so much for being here with me, Kevin.
Thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the loving vibrations came to me pretty quickly. For me, like on my own like spiritual journey, I've always been intuitive and most especially like an empath. I'm very sensitive to energies around me or people.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and for a while when I was a child and I would see stuff at nighttime, it really scared me. So I really had my gifts shut off.
Yes.
I had a lot of childhood trauma that I dealt with, and it took me quite a while to deal with that and do some of that inner work. But
Right.
it really, well, I started learning tarot in around the 2016 election because I could just,
Oh,
I
okay.
knew something didn't feel right. I know a lot of other readers started reading about that time.
Yeah. Yep.
But it really wasn't a lot of the psychic work didn't come in until earlier this year. At the beginning of the year, I started doing Reiki. I took my first class. And when I got my Reiki attunement, where I can channel the Reiki energy, it raised my vibration so much. It actually it was extremely overwhelming for like the first 2-3 weeks after that class. But all of my clairs have really started to develop, and I've realized now that a lot of the psychic work is all about raising your vibrations, and it has to do with matching energies, which I didn't know before. I mean, I was a card reader, and so yeah, I mean, my gifts have really developed since then. And when I do Reiki, the energy that you go into feels almost angelic. It's all that unconditional love energy.
So that's where that came from. Okay.
That's where loving vibrations comes from.
That's so well, and you do emanate it, Kevin. You just do. I've watched you over, and it's funny when you watch somebody that starts at the beginning, they're fine, but as they develop, you go back and watch the first one, and you're like, oh, look at that! Look at how different they were at that time. But it must have been that raised your Kundalini. That's
it was my spiritual awakening moment, and I know that the pandemic has been a really hard time for so many people. But for me, I was unemployed. So that last year really gave me a lot of time to do a lot of that inner work and make a lot of changes and reflections on what made me happy in my life. And yeah, I mean, this last year or two has really been a big spiritual awakening for me.
Wow. I think that the benefit, I use that word carefully because it's not a benefit to be home and not at work. Yeah. But I think there are benefits to us having more time thinking about, spending more time doing what we love, reaching out and what is it? To the human potential or the spiritual potential of the human. Yeah. So, that's so fabulous. I'm so glad to hear that. And you're still taking the Reiki, I'm assuming. Are you?
I do Reiki, although I would say probably the last couple months, it hasn't been a daily thing like I would like it to be. I'm just so busy, so it's hard to make that time, but it's something that's important.
Sure.
Especially before I'm doing a reading or, I go live or anything like that, I do like to do some Reiki just to rebalance my energies and get those vibrations raised.
Mm-hmm.
But
and get the downloads as well. The downloads.
I do downloads, yes.
Yeah. I thought so. Yeah.
They really started. Like I said, I did have gifts before my Reiki, but it's not something that I really controlled. And really, the gifts really developed after the Reiki with the vibrations being raised and being able to harness energy and kind of control it.
That's really good. I remember way back, it was like 1991 that I was working with a spiritual community. We would have meditations, and we didn't do Reiki necessarily, but we did do a lot of rising. And we also had that Carolyn photography, and they took it before we had a meditation, and they took it after we had a meditation.
Auras?
It's auras, yes. Yeah. And it was amazing because, you see low energy or, not as exciting energy. Yeah. And then you get this other one and it's just bright. And it's I don't know if anybody can ever get it done. It's very interesting to do. Not very many places do it anymore. And maybe it's because people's gifts already are able to see those auras and they don't need to have the extra, that was more of a work in progress at that time. So that's awesome.
I don't so much see auras like visually, but I feel the energy when I do the Reiki work, and I can feel the aura energy. What the different colors and everything almost comes in at a different frequency. You can feel it.
Okay.
For me anyway. And if I really close my eyes and meditate on somebody's aura and like their energy around their body, colors start to come through. But I don't look at somebody and can necessarily see it. I know Medium Kim is really great with that.
She really is. Yeah. One of my first forays into learning about all of this was reading a lot of Edgar Cayce stuff. And the story that always resonates with me is about how he walked to go on an elevator and he looked at all the people and they had no aura. So he decided he wasn't going to take the elevator and he crashed. Yeah. So it's like the aura leaves your body just before you go. It's almost like it's a prediction if you can see it. But no, I can't really see them. Sometimes I can if it's a white background and I cross my eyes a little, not really.
You have to see it like out of the corner of your eye.
Out of the corner of my eye.
Like the peripheral vision, yeah.
And I've been seeing that too. I'm not spending much time at my house anymore because the internet is so wacky. But the other day I was doing something and I saw somebody, a little figure running in and out of my closet. But I couldn't see it when I turned my head. It was only there.
I see it like that too.
Yeah. That's awesome. But it's awesome that you can also see orbs as well, right?
I do. And it's really weird because normally I don't, if I'm in a place, like with an entity or something like that, it's more for me, I pick it up empathically where I feel it.
Okay.
Or I see like shadows. But the last few days, a lot of orbs have been coming to me. So
okay.
Something a little different and out of the ordinary for myself. But I can see them. I have seen them before. I've seen full apparitions before.
I was looking at one point. I remember I was looking for a house in a specific area, so I pulled up all these houses that were out, that were for sale, and there was one that just blew me away. And it was in the middle of a living room that was empty, completely empty, with wooden floor. Was somebody on their knees with their head down in this huge white orb. And they even had it on the ad for the house. And it blew me away. It was like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And it was like an angel,
Right.
I thought whoever gets to live in that house is going to be one lucky person, because they usually stay. Oh, well, I want to say hello to some more people. Anna Banana. Hello, Kim Emmerich. Ingerick, Chris Martin, Flowing, and Chris, that's okay. You can lurk. I know you're working. Sherry, Ron. Hi, Ron. Good to see you. I missed Ron's show because I had that damn kidney stone. So I felt bad.
You're feeling better now?
I am feeling, yeah. It's amazing because, you can go from okay to that extreme awful pain.
Mm-hmm.
Once you pass it, you're okay again. But it's that middle part that, whew, just
I know a lot of people were sending you light and healing.
They were. They were.
That.
I felt it. It was wonderful. It just washes over me, and I love everybody for it. That's hi, Deb H. Sonia Rain Lee, it's good to see you.
Sonia.
Yeah.
I had some of her show last night, Soul Sisters.
Oh, you were on the Soul Sisters? Is that
no,
what you said?
I was able to catch it. I wasn't on it.
Catch it. Yeah, I know.
Me and Sonia, Sonia are going to have to do something eventually because we've had to reschedule something, but we've reached out.
Yeah, that happens a lot. I was on her show and I talked about journaling, and it was really fabulous. I bet you could find something really interesting to tell us about. I love her show. I think that's wonderful. And hello, Cartomancy, and you can lurk as well. That's fine. All right. Well, I want to talk a little bit. So when you were a young boy, you started seeing things at night. Is that what you said in your house? Yeah. Okay. And it scared you, so you got rid of it. Was anybody else in your family have a psychic ability?
You know, not openly. I do feel I feel my grandma who passed about a year and a half ago. Mm-hmm. I do definitely feel that she had a lot of psychic abilities that she didn't develop.
Right.
But yeah, she did.
It wasn't as easy to, be out there and talking about it, and even somebody that I talked to, probably, I just talked to them, or emailed with them, and they said that they had a show, a psychic show or a tarot show on YouTube about 2014 or 15, and they were pretty much pushed out completely.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of really bad stuff. So yeah. So I'm glad that we are where we are now, and we can do what we want to do. And we have trolls, but we can sort of control them in a lot more ways. Hello, Catherine Chittick. So when was it? You said you started reading the cards, and then in 2016 you started reading the cards. Did you do anything between the time you were a kid and that age?
Not really. Not so much. I mean, I was always really fascinated with metaphysical and like psychics and tarot readers. It wasn't something I really dabbled into.
Right.
I would get lucid and psychic dreams, which I don't get too much anymore.
Okay.
I'm very restless at nighttime. So
okay.
I don't feel like my body completely gets to that.
Gets to the sleep stage.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
But if I have something important, my guides will send me, show it to me in dreams. But I had a lot of childhood trauma. And so I was in a very dark place for a long time and in really deep depression.
Yeah.
So it was really coming out of that and doing some inner work and, growing that, my gifts started to come through again.
Well, I mean, I had periods of desert because I would learn and then I'd be busy, and then I'd learn and I'd be busy. And I, looking back on it, everything unfolded in the right time, of course, because it always does. But, many times I say, gee, I wish I'd done a little bit more, but it's okay. It's fine. It is what it is.
It all happens at the right time.
At the right time. Absolutely. Yeah. All right, Deb Z, you could use some positive energy dealing with a extremely negative middle child. Oh, honey. Wow. Guessing how old is that middle child? Is that middle child a teenager yet, or?
I was kind of feeling teenager.
Teenager, yeah. Oh, they're so hard to deal with. I'm so sorry. I'm going to send you
hormones.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
Oh, she's 35.
Oh, 35?
I think the hormones might be a little going, though, because that's maybe why I was picking up teenager. But
yes, I know, acting like a teenager. Okay.
Yeah.
So my middle brother, there was my older brother, my middle brother, and there was me, and I was 13 and 9.
Oh, it's a he.
And years difference. And my middle brother was always with a chip on his shoulder,
Yeah.
Or he just didn't understand the way life was. He wanted to sort of be this bravado guy. And so, I think he probably changed when he was about 50. So you have some hope coming. But yeah, teenage mentality. Oh, it's a he. Okay. Yeah. My brother was like that. He would beat people up if they looked at him sideways, but he was a Vietnam vet.
Yeah.
And he had a lot of trauma.
I was going to say a lot of that post-traumatic stress.
Post-traumatic stress, yeah. Well, I'm going to send you lots of love anyway, Deb Z. I'm sorry you're dealing with it. My oldest child isn't speaking to me for some reason, so that, and then if I say anything to her, she'll say it isn't all about you, So she's 44, so she's no baby, Anyway,
sometimes you just got to let it's their journey, and I think as a parent, it's hard not to kind of want to control.
Right.
You just have to let it go somewhat and let them do.
So yes, bipolar disease blames you. Okay. But you know that's not true, right, Deb? You do know that. Maybe he's got this bipolar disorder, and when he's in the worst part of it, he's more like a narcissist where, where they're just, and I'm not a therapist, so I'm just throwing that out there, but I'm just think maybe we should just bombard this fellow with some love and light, and circling him with some swirling white energy and maybe a little bit of violet fire. Yeah. Anyway, we're here for you, dear. Definitely are. Yeah. I'm glad you do know that. I'm glad you do. Yeah. Parenting is one of the toughest jobs on the planet. Yes. And the thing is, it doesn't go, like you said, Kevin, it doesn't go away when you're 18.
Right.
You're a parent for life once you.
We only want the best for them. So sometimes
Absolutely.
It's hard when they have to figure it out for themselves.
I love this. Yes.
Yes.
Go for it. Tough love, right? Tough love. So we will be taking some questions today that will probably start in about 10 minutes or so, but we're not taking personal questions, unless you have a personal need for, such as Deb, for love and light to be sent or something. We're taking political questions. We're taking news questions. We're taking, what was the other one, Kevin?
Maybe some spiritual questions.
Yeah, like about guides or, that kind of thing, or angels or
anything metaphysical.
Yeah. Which I'm seeing a shift in, and I'm liking the shift. Yeah. And, I know a lot of people came on and still want to know political stuff, and that's fine. Yeah. But it's nice to know a little bit about other things too. And so the balance is important. So that's what we're doing today, if that's okay with you. Oh, Ron, what do you got to say here? Oh, yeah, absolutely, Ron. We know that about you. You're such a caring guy. And, when I think about Kevin's loving vibrations tarot and Ron's unconditional love tarot, I think I got the two sweetest guys in the world here. So I really do, because both of you have that capacity and ability to make people feel better and to know they're heard. So I think that's
the thing with a lot of trauma and childhood trauma and stuff like that. It can either make you or break you. I feel like you either get into like you can be into like a victim mentality and just keep that going for the longest time and harboring that, or you can. What I think is really helpful for people that have dealt with hard stuff is, you have to think, what was the purpose of that? What did you learn? And by, if you learned one thing from that situation, it was meant to happen for a reason.
Absolutely. I think despite the fact I wouldn't really want to have to go through them again, I think my hardest lessons, my best lessons were the hardest ones. Yeah. But it's sure hard to reconcile that.
I agree. It's not something I would willingly want to just jump back into my childhood.
Yeah, like where do you want to go back to? Well, never mind. Well, it's the same way with actually, for me, it's been the same way with aging. I feel more empowered, and I don't know if the word's wise. I feel more worldly, I guess.
Yeah.
The older I get, and yet I'd love to have the body of a 35-year-old. That would be okay.
Yeah, right.
If they want to grant me one wish, and at some point, that cryogenics and all those other things that they're going to eventually get, and people are going to live longer, and people will say, well, geez, I looked really good in my 80s. Now I'm 120.
Right. I think that's a little while off, but yeah, I think eventually we'll get there.
Absolutely.
80 is the new 20.
80 is the new 20.
I think there was something like the Golden Girls about that they get their heads freeze. And sorry, I watch the Golden Girls every night before I go to bed.
Right. Absolutely. That's right. Well, I'm good. Valerie, I'm glad you're here. Hi, Lori Paradise. We're happy to have you. It is a game changer to recognize the growth in the bad as well as the good. Absolutely. I think that there are people that want to dwell so much on, oh, poor me. Oh, my God.
They want to stay in the low vibrations. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get out.
It's hard,
It is. Yeah, it really is.
It's hard for me. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
I was going to say, especially for me as like an empath, it's really hard to be around people like that.
I know. They drain you. They suck you dry, for one thing, because they like what they see, but they're jealous of it. Not everybody, of course, but
but a lot.
It is. It's difficult. And you can pick up on that. If I'm with a really negative person for any amount of time, I have to go take a shower.
Right.
I really do. Yeah, it's really hard. Yeah. Energy vampires. That's right. Hi, Lauren Hunsinger. Hello, Suzanne Fortier. It's good to see you. Everybody, we're glad you're here. Yeah, we're thrilled. We are going to take some questions for some readings. We are just not taking personal questions, am I going to get married or all that stuff. We're not taking those. We're taking political, we're taking spiritual, or anything in the news that you might want to bring up. That would be awesome. Because Kevin and I have been trying to get here for a long time. Yes.
Yeah.
So let's see. So when you said, I want to just go back to this. I don't want to forget about this. When you said that in 2016, you started doing the political readings, were you doing a little bit
before, but yeah.
Were you doing them just with YouTube people, or were you doing it as a private thing, or just in your own world?
It was my own experience with it. I taught myself.
Good.
And I think at that time too, there really wasn't a lot of readers. There were a few. There were a few that I said, I don't know if Kirsten Langston was on then, but like it was before Linda G started her channel, and so it was like my own experience, but I was starting to get more into watching some psychics, especially with that election coming up, and really learning from them, and then my own experience of learning the cards.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly do not feel comfortable with tarot, reading it, although I understand if you showed me what you had, I might be able to figure it out, but it's like, I just don't. So that's why I end up using the Oracle cards. But yeah, I had to come here. But see, I really didn't think he was going to win in 2016.
I didn't
he probably didn't. I don't
think he did. No.
Right. So imagine my shock when he did. And then it started immediately, like the day right at the inauguration, the nastiness, just nasty shit. And then he, I don't know, did this and that and got rid of this and got rid of that, like all these things. And I know Biden did it too. He just reversed everything.
Right.
But, and then when, I guess the Vladimir Zelensky thing, isn't it? That's his name?
Yeah.
That upset,
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And, and they had that trial and all that stuff. Then I was riveted, and I was riveted to all the people that, and by the way, they almost overthrew him. Did you hear there was almost a coup on Zelensky, the Russians?
I didn't hear that. No.
This is recent. Yeah. They've been trying to push him out, by putting tanks and all that stuff, I guess, at the border. But now he found out they had a coup, and it was almost realized. And you just know that Putin did that, So, but all those trials and all those things, I watched them religiously. I had to see them. It was like I was riveted. And then when they just went away because they couldn't figure out if anything really happened, and everybody voted and said it was okay. It was like, yeah.
It's craziness.
It is. It really is. Yep. So what made you finally decide to come to YouTube?
Well, I got pulled to tarot, and then I was getting called by my guides for the longest time. And there were a lot of other readers that were starting off at that time. I think maybe around the time Linda G came on, and, a lot of the really big readers in our community.
Right.
And for me, this isn't in my comfort zone. It's something I fought with my guides with for a while because they kept pushing me. I didn't feel like I was ready. And they were like, "You're ready. You need to start this." And
boy, they're pushy, aren't they?
They are very pushy. And it really wasn't. And it was, I just got to the point earlier this year. I think I started in July. Like the month or two before, they were really bugging me about it again. And I was like, I'm very introverted, and
so you're another one. Okay.
Yeah. When I'm comfortable in a situation, I tend to, my Leo outgoingness tends to show up, which I'm getting more comfortable with it. But
good.
It was just totally out of my comfort zone. And I was finally like, I just need to get out of my comfort zone and get out of my own way. So I just launched and then started doing my videos. Yeah.
Good. There's so many that started that way. I mean, even Andrea at Lilac Lantern, she was with her hands only. There are still some out there doing it just with their hands. Some of it for different reasons. But it's amazing how spirit has moved introverts, pushed them past saying, you're not realizing your potential. You need to go. And just how direct they are when it comes to giving their messages.
Like you said, they can be very pushy. Like, you're doing this.
Yep, that's what they did to Susan. I love even Susan Lynn, though. She gave over everything to her guides, and then they started dictating what she could eat, and that was a little bit too much. It's very funny. Yeah. So, Andrea, I'm glad you're here. Andrea and I are going to do a series on everyday shamanism pretty soon. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. But your relationship, part of your journey is working honestly. Yes. It hit a wall when some of our stuff was parallel to my mom and my struggle. I understand, dear. I totally understand. And it doesn't even mean you have to have children. You could have a difficult person that's living next door. You could have somebody at work that's really rotten. And, and in my case, somebody that was trying to sell something that really didn't want to sell it. So it was quite an interesting journey that we were on. So Kevin, Chris says, I'm teaching myself too. Do you ever feel overwhelmed by new gifts? How do you handle it?
I don't know if I would say overwhelmed. I'll say when I got my Reiki attunement and my vibrations were raised for a few weeks, that was a little overwhelming until I got used to being in that energetic zone.
Vibration. Yeah.
But no, my gifts, especially like, I've always kind of had like that claircognizance, that knowing, and then, like the empathic abilities, really being able to feel energy strongly. But I didn't necessarily see a lot of things clairvoyantly or clairaudiently. And my clairvoyance has really started to
pick up,
to advance. Okay. Yeah. At first I was kind of, I'd see like little things in black and white when I like meditated, and now sometimes I'll see a little video, or I start to see things in more color now. And so it's just something that you need to, if that's something you're interested in developing your skills, just keep playing with it and keep strengthening that connection. And
absolutely try something different
with it.
Yeah. The same with the pendulum. There were I didn't get to
got my first pendulum.
There's a lot of people that they think about the Ouija board, I think, because that's creepy. And it is. It can bring in some negative shit. But the pendulum is pretty cool. And I remember when I was pregnant with my daughter, it was a needle that was on some thread. That's how they used to try to determine if it was a boy or a girl. So that's a pendulum, really, when you think about it,
Right. You probably make it just about anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you could use like a necklace, take the necklace off and use it and see which way it goes. Yeah. I would just say that most people use it as a sort of a validation for their feelings or for their card reading or whatever it is. But yeah, I've always been claircognizant myself, and I think that's my strongest. I just know things. I just know something. And my husband will say, "How did you know that?" I said, "Yeah, I just did," but the thing is, it would be really nice if he trusted me. He's been with me for 21 years. When I tell him something, he's like, "Oh, I don't know about that." And he is open. He's very metaphysical.
Oh, okay.
But it's just like I'm his wife. Somebody else could tell him and he would listen. So I don't know. I think that's how it works. Yeah, I know. Isn't that funny? It's true though.
I'll say too, I never, although people definitely told me that I'm a medium, I never really considered myself that label. And even for the longest time, I didn't like the psychic label either. I like empath and intuitive, but I'm getting more comfortable with it because the channeling and those gifts have really started to awaken.
Started to come through. I think I understand that. I've had other people tell me that too. No, I'm not a psychic. No, I'm not a medium. I just am spiritual or something, because there's a fear of the expectation, I think. Isn't it?
Yeah. I can agree with that.
Yeah. Wow.
But I'm amazed too, especially when I do like the channeling work and somebody from the other side comes through, because it's still really kind of new to me. And a lot of my private readings that I do, somebody will want to connect, or somebody will just come through to me. My guides send me white doves as a symbol when there's somebody on the other side that wants to communicate.
Yeah.
But I've just been amazed by like all of the, like how spot on a lot of it is. It still kind of is like, wow. I don't know how I picked up on that, but so it's something I'm getting used to more and more. The psychic part I am getting more used to. Somebody's like, "Are you a medium?" It still doesn't quite feel right, even though people have told me that I am one. But
I know. I had that happen with Susan Lynn when I spontaneously was able. I just haven't practiced it, so I don't feel that comfortable with it. Yeah. But the things that I was coming up with, the fact that this man had a St. Christopher medal on, and he liked to dance, and he died of AIDS, and probably in the 80s or something. But I didn't know all that, but it was amazing. And then you get to the point where you go, oh, I wonder if, because if you think you can do it, like you get a little cocky. Oh yeah, I'm a medium, then nothing happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Ron, I don't know that I knew this, but he couldn't have picked a better guy to do it with, honestly. So that's great.
Thank you, Ron.
Yeah. All right. So we got a question here from Ocean View. When a spirit can physically interact with you, hold your hand, and it feels exactly as if they are in body, how do they do that, and how do they come through portals in your home?
It takes a lot of energy, I feel, for them to be able to manifest themselves that way, where you can see them in, a full apparition, and especially if you're going to feel them touch, or, in some cases when they're a little violent and push and stuff like that. But it takes a lot of energy for them to be able to do that. I think a lot of times that's why they mess with the electricity too, because it kind of like fuels their energy.
Yes.
About the portals, I'm not sure how they're started. I mean, I think people can open portals and for that kind of energy to through. But if it's a loved one, they're always with you and watching over you, so they can be anywhere with you.
Yeah. My brother is a trickster, and he started that the moment that he died. I can feel he does things but I never see him, and I don't feel his hand or anything like that. But I just know when he's around, and he's always around. And So that's kind of cool. And some of them, if they bother you, like they're doing trickster things too much, you need to say, hey, I know you're there, and I'm feeling like I don't want you to do that as much.
You need a boundary.
So, yeah, they need the boundaries, definitely. But don't you think too that and this is a whole other topic, but don't you think if people are ghosts are in a certain area of a house, like I lived in this really old house built around the Revolutionary War, and there was a room that was very spooked. People were there. We knew it.
Yeah.
And I would say that if that would serve as a portal, I would think. I don't have proof.
It's a little bit, I feel like it's a little bit different. I feel like you can open up portals for energies to come through, but a lot of times you'll have residual energies too. If they're, if that property is really important to them and they don't want to leave that. Right. I feel like when spirits earthbound, a lot of times it's because they're afraid to move on, or they don't want to leave somebody that's in this world. A lot of times, like I said, I think that they had a real attachment to that property.
Definitely. Like maybe they built it or something, right?
I think I think a lot of times it's just residual energy that needs cleared too, where it's not necessarily a ghost, but it's a lot of emotions trapped into that room.
Oh, very true. If somebody was very ill and lingered in that room forever, you may have some.
There's a lot of anger. There's somebody that's not very negative and they're screaming and shouting and violent. A lot of times that energy will stay in the rooms.
So Ocean says that can't see them, but it's a loving energy. Well, that's good. Yeah. Awesome. All right. So here's another one. I felt a full-on hand on my shoulder. It woke me up, but I did not move. I don't know about you, but I awaken every morning at 3:00, every single morning.
Oh, really? I do a lot.
Yeah. Sometimes I just get up. Other times I'll kind of just I get up maybe and go to the bathroom and come back to bed and try to go back to sleep. But that is such a very fine line. That energy is such a fine line. The veil,
I think, is thinnest at that point too. So I think a lot of people are sensitive.
Yeah. Maybe a heart connection is strongest. Okay. Yeah, very definitely. My brother was a trickster in real life. Surprised he isn't in spirit. Maybe you're not paying enough attention. Maybe he's coming and bugging your son. Maybe,
They definitely have a sense of humor on the other sides. My guides, I always hear them laughing.
Do you? Yeah.
Yeah. Or if I ask like a dumb question, they'll laugh at it sometimes.
Well, it's like Susan saying that they smoke over there. It's like, really? I could see my brother. This is great. I don't have to buy cigarettes. They're just here and I can just keep smoking. Yeah.
Well, it's like drink. A lot of times I think that, if they like drinking a glass of wine or, things that they enjoyed in this life, a lot of them enjoyed smoking.
Yeah. My brother would be doing that too, because he loved wine. Yeah. Busy guy. I love Cash Peters, Andrea, and I haven't watched him recently because I've been too busy, but whenever he talks about the transition pictures and he talks about the energies of those those pictures, and you'd think they are all be exactly the same, and some components seem to be the same, but I loved it when he read Freddie Mercury because that's somebody I absolutely adore. But it was a different kind of transition, and I just thought it was fabulous. So, and who else did he read? Somebody that was very negative. Was it Hitler? Did he do Hitler? I can't remember, but somebody like that. And wow, lots of interesting things happened to that person too. So.
I haven't caught him in a while, but I am subscribed.
Yeah, I haven't either. I love him. Yep. Oh, this is interesting. No wonder why. I am a crone. A crone is a person that can't have, a woman that's older, wiser, but can't have any more children. So, yeah, it's like I'm a step grandmother. I don't have grandchildren, but yeah. So that's interesting. Here we go with On a Banana. Both grandmother and mother's best playing with your hair. Oh,
Did your grandma pass when you were when you were a child? Because I feel like that's kind of something like, or she's reminiscing on when you were a child and playing with her hair.
Yeah. Oh, my mother would have a fit if I'm surprised she hasn't come in and smacked my hand, because my mother always said, don't touch your hair.
Yeah.
You know, because don't play with your hair. Don't touch your hair. You're going to get it. Yeah. It's going to be a mess. Poor thing. Yeah. All right. Chris says, I swear I heard my guardian angel giggle. Yep. Yep. They love
have a sense of humor on the other side, for sure.
Yeah, they definitely do. They definitely do. Yep. Angel numbers. Yes, Ron. I see them all the time. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a Joan of Arc, Juno. Okay. I'll have to check that one out, because she was very young. Wasn't she 14 or something when she did all that? Yeah, absolutely. Flowing. Yes. A lot of us here are crones, honestly. I know Kevin's not, but you know.
I was going to say that I was one, but since I've started working my 2 jobs, I don't wake up at 3 as much anymore, because I wake up early in the morning.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of times I would wake up at 3 like every morning.
Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, she was 19, Juno? Okay, thank you. All right.
I think it's her reminiscing on when you were a child playing with your hair.
Yeah. She passed when I was 24. Mom's best friend passed when I was 17. Okay. Too young, Anna. Too young. I thought I was young. I was 33 when my mother passed. But, oh, Debsy, you have never heard of a crone? Okay. A crone, there are 3 types of passages. The first one is maiden, and that would be until you are, well, I don't know, 19 or 20, something, unless you're married, because once you get married or you're older and can have children, then you would be a mother. That's what that's called. And you don't have to physically be a mother. You know, you may mother a lot of animals, or you may mother other people or whatever. And then there's the crone, and the crone is the wiser old woman. It's not the nag with the big nose and all that. It's the achievement of wisdom through being older and being wiser. And usually it's a woman past childbearing age. So, yeah.
I never heard of that either. So.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. There's a group I belong to, the Crohn's Council, and they have like Zoom meetings every quarter. And, you know, they bring in different messages. And there's mostly the women that are on there. I mean, there's people on there that are between 50 or 45, because some people are grandparents at 45, to like 90, you know, there's all that space. So,
so somebody was saying that Crohn's are more susceptible to waking up at 3 a.m.
That's what Andrea said. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I think if you're open to getting messages, that you will automatically wake up about that time. Yeah. Depending on when you went to bed. I don't think of it as a negative. Whenever I wake up, I go, oh, it must be 3 o'clock. And I put my phone on and it's like 3:04 or something.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Awesome. Ooh, this is interesting. 2 years of EMDR therapy. I'm blessed to be walking the earth. So many manifestations happen during the therapy. Are they my guides? All right, is that what you're asking? EMDR is emotional. I don't know the correct. It's an.
I'm not sure what kind of. Therapy.
Yeah, it is. It's a type of therapy for trauma. Mm-hmm. But it's I think it's mental therapy. You know, it's not physical therapy. Tell us what it means, if you wouldn't mind, Lauren, because I just like to make sure that yes, Deb H, you are a purple crone. That's good.
I can definitely see though doing, like, if it is a kind of mental therapy and doing some of that inner work, a lot of manifestations and gifts being developed during that time. Yep. So yeah, I would say if that's the case, it probably is your guides communicating.
Definitely. So Juno, you're going to be having it. Interesting. And it sounds like it did help her. So, and it's fair. I've probably been around a long time, but you know how they name something and then it's a thing now. You know, it was like before. before there was PTSD, I mean, it was called something else and something else. And yeah. Okay, here it is. She wakes up at 3 a.m. Your birthday is at 3:33 on the 330. Oh my God,
No.
girlfriend.
I think 3 is your lucky number.
Really? Yeah. I thought it was my girlfriend's granddaughter was born on 11/11/11.
Oh,
and
wow.
I always thought that was because she's 10, and I always thought that was a cool day to be born. But yeah, now she says the mental and emotional release is the best thing. So it is some sort of emotional releasing, and I'm guessing isn't it done by finger? Is it no, not finger tapping. There's something else that's physical that goes with it, and I can't remember what it is, but I have heard of it. Okay, help you with the sessions. Anybody want to know anything about 45 or any? I'm glad you're asking spiritual questions. Actually, it's quite nice.
I'm fine with spiritual questions. I know a lot of people are kind of over the politics.
Over the politics, yeah. I think it truly is wonderful to have that kind of community where people ask the questions or people offer the answers to some of these things, because it's in the sharing that we grow, because there's so much we need to learn. We only probably have tipped, a little spot of the ice, chipping away the iceberg,
Right.
Actually, I love that metaphor. I use it because I teach literature, and there are stories that utilize the iceberg theory. There is an iceberg theory, and it is that there's only a little bit that shows here. So it doesn't look very big. But when you look under the water, it goes down, down, and that's what happened when it hit the Titanic. So, you always got that to think about. Yeah, absolutely. Asked everyone, oh, wow, that's awesome. That's great, Andrea. It's almost like a sorority of sisters that get together and give you things to do. And I know we're trying to set up a drumming circle here where everybody can drum and rattle and all that. Problem is, there's a massage parlor next door. They're always yelling at us about noise. They're open all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And so if we have a drumming session, we're going to blow the doors off. And I think we may
it's interesting. I was going to say earlier when you were talking about how you're doing like a shaman series with Andrea. For some reason, I definitely feel pulled like towards that shaman direction and like healing. Good. And it's something that I need to get more into. And I've always kind of resonated with it, even without maybe thinking about it. I mean, when I was in school, I played drums in band, and yeah, and like all that energy.
You've got that kind of an energy. Yeah, yeah. So
it makes sense. Maybe that's why it resonated with me.
Well, hang on. I want to tell you this. So there is a woman that does soul retrieval. There's a soul retrieval, Sandra Ingerman. And I was going to read that book first, but Andrea told me she worked with Michael Harner, or she worked and they used Michael Harner's book, The Way of the Shaman. So, we're going to be talking about not just this, but we're going to be talking about some of these things. So, if anybody wants to get ahead of it and look through there, if they have questions or they want to talk about it, love it, And I absolutely resonate with all the Native American stuff. Yeah, me too. But I have not one drop of Native American blood, So yeah, it's
one of my guides is a shaman, and I like a Native American shaman.
Oh, that's fabulous. And I have one that's named Mohammed that is, I want to say he's Arabian or something. And he had a big turban and everything. So I just have all these crazy loves in my life. And I know we're brought to those things because we have worked with them before. And or we lived there before, or we were that. Yeah. All right. So here's a great explanation. Thank you, Lauren. It changes the neural pathways. I had traumas in a short time and had a total break. It's a new form of therapy and the best. That is great. So it's relying on, that reminds me of muscle memory in a way, the neural pathways. When
like
we do something, right, when we're refiring, when we use our muscle memory, it's because we've done something over and over. Like when I was in the martial arts, I had forms that I did, and I can still remember it. I have that muscle memory. I can't do what I used to do, but I can remember that. So yeah, that's
interesting.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh, that's what it is. It's eye movement. It has to do with sensitization. Yeah. Yeah.
So doing that kind of work must rewire the brain and the pathways. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. My daughter is a therapist. She told me her friend does it. He's a therapist, and but I didn't know the whole scoop on it. So yeah. Anyway. Okay. Oh, we do
I would imagine if you're rewiring too, it probably, if somebody has a lot of depression or anxiety, it probably does a lot to get the brain out of that state.
Yep. Catherine will answer this question for you. I missed the other one you had, Ocean View. I'll try to get back to that one. Okay. Sorry. Have you ever had a knock for help to use to go to the light? All right. I heard something about this I heard last night that somebody subpoenaed the personal tapes from You're Fired, whatever it is. The Apprentice. The Apprentice.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're wanting to sue everybody. Ivanka and Donald and Don Jr. and Eric. They were released.
Really?
Yeah, the company that did the work, that was the, production company or whatever, released those things. So I don't, I just think I don't think there's any hope, but I think the fact that he just keeps delaying it and delaying it.
That's what it is.
Yeah. And
I'm not sure if she's talking about the
tax
stuff that he keeps on appealing for the what department? For the January 6th commission, how they keep on asking for the documents. I'm not sure if that's what they're talking about, but the January 6th commission will get those documents.
Okay.
I see that clearly. If it's a personal stuff, and like you were saying, like with the Apprentice tapes and stuff like that, I feel like if that is released, it's not going to be public, but
right. Yep. And
yeah, January 6th. Yeah, those documents will be released, Catherine.
He's just got so many. I would probably, were I him, well, he's too narcissistic, but I probably want to check out. I really would, because it seems like a hopeless cause. How can somebody withstand all that pressure? I don't understand how he can do that, especially at his age and in his state of health.
Yeah, it's not a good, no.
No, not when you're drinking, what is it, Diet Coke and
he has some
Big Macs.
Yeah, he has something going on. I don't feel good about his heart if I focus in on that. And he has something in his stomach. I'm not a doctor or for entertainment purposes only, but yeah, there's something that
I've felt that for quite a while, actually. I have too. And the thing where he tips and how he holds things, like drinks like this, and I don't get it. That's awful. That's all right. So that was a good question. This is another one here. A number of psychics like Linda G and others see some type of big event that unites all of us in a single goal. Do we see anything about that?
I talked about this on my last live stream. It came up.
Oh, you did?
I haven't seen what it was, and I have a feeling what it is. I think it has to do with a lot of the domestic terrorists and stuff like that. There's going to be something that it's going to bring a lot of us together from all the outrage from even both sides. But I feel like the big thing that happens is a couple years off. It feels like, it does feel like it's like 2 or 3 years off. It doesn't.
Okay.
I mean, we're going to see a lot of that little stuff, but something really big will happen that brings everybody together. What
do you see about the Omicron variant? Anything?
I haven't really focused on it too much. When I do, I don't feel like it's going to be like the Delta variant. I don't think it's going to be that bad. I think they're going to be a little bit, they're going to have some roadblocks up ahead to kind of slow it down. I always felt though, and I feel like something changed because the way the energy was feeling over the summer, I felt like the fall and winter was going to be bad. And then in the spring, it was going to, we were going to like have a breathe a sigh of relief, like it was going to be a lot better. And so I'm not sure if it's that. It feels like the energy changed though. I do see, you know, that it's not going to be great, but I think for the U.S. we're going to have it under control somewhat. It's not going to be quite as bad as the Delta.
I really, honestly, if we had jumped on this thing faster than we did, even if we had done it at the beginning of this year when the things came out, I mean, otherwise, right now, I feel like we just got mutation after mutation after mutation that's just going to continue, and we're just going to live. And I hate being negative. I don't want to be negative. I don't want to say that. But I really have decided in my own mind, I'm thinking 2025, but again, it's just my personal feeling. I'm not like Linda G or anything like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, and I don't mean it's bad until, you know, really bad. I just mean it lingers.
It's going to be around.
Yeah. Until we have
I feel the same.
Do you?
It's a couple of years out that it's going to linger still. And it's something that's hard to get under control too, because it's worldwide.
Right.
So
that's the thing that makes me the most upset, actually, Kevin, is that now the Ronnie Jackson, who used to be Trump's doctor or the head, you know, he says that the Democrats have decided to bring in a new variant.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's like, dude, have you not watched the world news? You know, this is not an American virus only, you know? So, yeah.
Well, I mean, they all like to live in their disinformation and alternative reality. So.
Sure. Kevin, tell us about how Reiki helped you open up. I'm going to take training mainly for that purpose. Yeah, you know, as you can. Yeah.
Well, and I would say, too, if you do like getting Reiki treatments, if you take your level 1 class, it's actually beneficial because you can give yourself as much self Reiki as you like, and it's usually the cost of 2 or 3 treatments. So it has to do with you get to be able to be a Reiki practitioner because the Reiki master, they give you the ability to channel that Reiki energy.
Okay.
And so you're merely a conduit for that energy. And when you're giving somebody a Reiki treatment, they pull that, you're channeling that energy and filling your body with it and putting it out of your hands. And the client is getting that energy in. So it's really, you know, somebody's closed off to it. The Reiki might relax them a little bit, but it's not going to be as beneficial for somebody that's really open to it.
Right.
But what it is you're channeling that higher vibrational energy, and so your vibrations raise, and when you're at a higher vibration, you match more with your spirit guides and angels and people from the other side. You need that energy to match to kind of connect. So that's why it helps with
Is there any breath work that's involved with it, Kevin? Like, do you bringing in a lot of breath, oxygen?
When I do my treatments for myself, yes, I take deep breaths. And as I'm breathing in, I kind of visualize the light from my hands going in. And then as I exhale, I'm releasing anything that I no longer need or want, anything that's not beneficial for me. So yeah, I include breath work in it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Because I'm thinking that's when I was doing those meditations and I was really uplifting myself. It was a lot of deep breath work, you know?
Yeah.
And makes you feel good. Snow Wolf, you're looking for EMDR practitioner recommendations. Where you would go is your, I don't know if you have insurance or if you in your area, you can look up a therapy or therapists that use EMDR, and you should be able to find them. But remember, this is fairly a couple of years. It's been around a couple. I think it may have been done before. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, Sonia's got the right idea. She says, I love practicing Reiki. Not only does it benefit others, it benefits me as well. And yeah, you're getting that Reiki energy even when you're giving it to somebody else. And for me, it feels very angelic. Like the energy that I tap into is just very, very light, and it's all that unconditional love. So, yeah, it is very,
very cool. Well, Andrea said, "Isn't COVID what united us in common? The struggle of COVID." Which yes, I think so. It was the beginning, and Valerie said, "Yes, there is something that will unite us." So I love it when I have. I love it when you're in my chat, when I'm doing with somebody else, and also that people are here with you, and it's like this energy portal.
Things aren't going to be quite as polarized. We're going to have some crazies out there still, but yeah, something. And I'm not, and I don't want to, for entertainment purposes only, I'm not saying I see anything like 9/11 happening again, but something like that that's so big it united us as a country. And something like that is going to happen again. I don't think it's going to be like that.
Yeah. I mean, really, January 6th united, but divided. So it united the people that were in the same place, but divided us. So there has to be something that will happen that, and maybe it, Andrea says a global pandemic. Yeah. But that's why, it is. It continues to mutate because we haven't woken up. As a people, not necessarily us, but yeah, absolutely. But yes, I know people are getting sick of it, but I be careful. It's when people become very placated or whatever that things.
Some people, like I was saying, it's a cult like what 45 did, and it's almost a type of what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It's not coming to me. But yeah, it's almost cult-like, and like they're brainwashed. That's the word.
It's like a cult. Yeah.
And they don't want to live in reality. They live in a reality that is, alternative facts, and where the truth doesn't matter. It's their own bubble, and they like living like that. So. Well,
and that there are people that like to manipulate, because I just read that, what's his name? The one that said, "Where we go one, we go all," that Michael Flynn, didn't he say that? And now they have him on tape saying, QAnon's crazy, that thing. And they knew it. They knew it all along. They just decided that, let's play with this. Let's play in this basketball court, and we'll just tell everybody to believe us, and then we'll get the power, so. Chocolate Roses, I apologize. We're not taking personal readings today on the chat. I understand that your husband, we can send him some loving energy, that's for sure. And so let's do that right now. And for yourself as well, because you are a caregiver. So, yeah. And I think it takes us a longer time to recover. I don't know how old you are, and I don't need to know, but I think it takes us a longer time to recover than it would have in the past. And, with all these restrictions we have also with COVID. So we send lots of love in Reiki. Okay, Joyce. Oh, we're almost done here. We've been here almost an hour. Okay. One more than one channel says that the lives of being a shaman, many cultures had shaman. Oh, yes. 10,000 years. Yeah. And thank you, Andrea. EMDR has been around 25 years. Sorry. I just didn't know about it, I guess. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Yes. Think ascension. I love that. Think ascension. Wouldn't that unite us all? That would be awesome.
Well, and in its own way, I think it did kind of do that too.
That's why we're all here.
You have to kind of split a little bit, and the Earth ascension and us ascending. Some people are going to continue to want to stay in that 3D world, while others are going to grow. So that's also why you get that polarized thing. And I do believe that the pandemic did happen for that reason too. Yeah.
So and I've been confused in my past about this idea of 3D, 5D, but it's a vibration. It's a vibration,
yeah.
the lower the number, the lower the vibration. And when you bring yourself up, because there's like 17 levels above that, something like that. Yeah. I mean, we can walk on water at some point, you know, but yeah, it's your vibration, keeping it up, not interchanging with other people or getting into snits about silly things. And that's really hard. Really hard.
It is hard. Yeah. And I think as you ascend too, you become less reactive to things that would normally trigger you.
Correct. Yeah.
It's your state of mind and your energy is lighter as you ascend.
And I think that sometimes Spirit says, wait a minute, whack on the head. You didn't learn that last time, so you have to go through it again. And so here we go. Lift it up, lift it up. Don't be dragged. Yeah, don't be dragged down.
It's not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy. Absolutely not. Oh, yes, we will ascend down a banana. I think we will. We will. I think we will.
My guides did tell me, too, that, you know, us as a community, we're all brought in here together to help the earth ascend. And that we all have a reason and why we're all here.
I know. Every single one of you we're grateful for. And others that aren't even here or watching this later, we want you to know that you are dearly loved. And yes, the work can also be a pleasure for us all if we all unite. So we can unite, and then a uniting can come from other things as well. So Kevin, I really enjoyed having you. You're going to have to come back now because
I will. Yeah.
I really enjoyed this. So thank you so much.
Can I just say real quick? Thank you. I'm really glad to be here, but I want to thank you for all that you do for the community and really doing all of your collabs and really uniting all these different great channels. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Kevin. I really want to be supportive of other people, and I'm happy to, and everybody's so kind back to me. So thank you. And please check out Kevin's channel, Kevin's Loving Vibrations Tarot. And you do readings, personal readings, and they can reach you in private readings.
Yeah, I have my email on my page where you can email me and we can set something up for a private reading.
Absolutely. So go over and like and subscribe to his channel as well. We love you all and thank you. You have a wonderful day. Thank you, Kevin.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.